Hello fashion lovers, welcome to the channel. In this channel I make and share tutorials on dressmaking, bag making and fashion accessories. Today's fashion DIY is going to be on how to make this beautiful turban cap. So without further ado, let's get started. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and let's get started. So these are the materials I'm going to be using to make this beautiful turban cap you can see on the screen. So I have my velvet material, so this is just half yard and this is going to be more than enough. I have my sequin fabric, just little of it, and I have my hand needle and matching thread, pair of scissors and my tape. So the first thing I'm going to do is to mark out my head circumference. So my head circumference is 23 inches and I'll be adding extra 3 inches, making it 26 inches. So in altogether I have 26 inches. So my head circumference is 23 inches plus extra 3 inches, making it 26 inches. I'm marking my head circumference from this stretchy part of this velvet material. From this point I'll go up by 15 inches. So after marking out my head circumference plus 3 inches, I went up by 15 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So this is going to serve as the base of my turban cap. I'm going to keep this aside and cut out the band for this turban cap. For the band of my turban cap, on this stretchy part as well, I'll be cutting out 26 inches by 4.5 inches. So after cutting out the band, I'm just going to fold this into two. I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'll be attaching the band to the turban base. I'll be attaching this by 1/2 inch. So after attaching the band, so for this part you can go ahead and use your weaving machine to weave it for a neat finishing. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this into two, right side facing right side. So after folding, on this part where I have my band, I'll be placing my head circumference measurement. So my head circumference is 23 inches. 23 inches divided by 2 is 11.5. I'll mark this 11.5 to this point. I'm going to sew from this point to this point. I'll take this back to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew from, I'm going to close this from this point to this point. And when I get to this point where I have this joining, I'm going to take my stitches back to this place and I'll be sewing this by 1/2 inch. So I'll be sewing this by 1/2 inch. So from this part, before I get to this point, I'm going to mark out about 2 inches. So my stitches is going to stop here. So I'm going to sew this by 1/2 inch from this point to this point, leaving an opening of about 2 inches. So after sewing and leaving an opening of 2 inches on that end, I'll go ahead and trim out the excess I have here. So I'll be trimming this out, leaving about 1/2 inch allowance. So after trimming, I'll be making a running stitch from this point to this point using my hand needle and matching thread. So after using running stitches to gather this, I'll go ahead and make sure I secure this very well. So after doing this, I'll go ahead and turn this out. So after turning out the turban cap, you should have it looking this way. So I'll just keep this aside. It's time to work on the design on the cap. So I'll be using this to create the design on my turban cap. So I have my sequin fabric, just a little piece of this. So the length of this fabric is 30 inches by 8. So 30 inches is the length and 8 inches is the width of this fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold my sequin fabric into 2 equal parts like this, and I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'll be closing this end by 1/2 inch. So after closing this end, I'll turn this out. So after turning this out, I'll go ahead, I'll use my fingers to gather this like this. So after gathering this, I'll bring my turban cap and I'll be passing this in through the opening, and I'll be bringing this out from this 2 inches opening I left. So just watch and see what I'm doing. So after making sure this is out properly, I'll pick one end of this and I'm going to pick the other end of this, and I'm going to be sewing this by 1/2 inch. You can actually use your hand needle and thread to achieve this if you don't have a sewing machine. After sewing like this, I'll be turning this in to hide these stitches. So I'll be doing this patiently. So after turning this to the right side, so this part where I have my stitches, I'll go ahead and turn it again. I want it to be inside, so I'll go ahead and turn this part. I'll be rotating this until it gets to this part. So I'll keep rotating until it's well centralized. So for the space, do not worry about that. It's going to be covered when you put on the turban cap. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and spread my sequin. So you can see the way I'm spreading this. You can see the way I'm spreading. So this is basically all for this tutorial. You can see how very pretty this turban is sitting on my head. So let me know what you think about this tutorial in the comment section. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to this channel to be a part of this beautiful family. Bye.